Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's new DLC has released, and it's taking us to the Blueberry Academy. There's a lot of goodies packed into this DLC, so let's talk about some of the fun new additions Game Freak brought us. Everyone give a warm welcome to your favorite Poketuber, Cayla from Cayla's Capsule.
Hello, my name's Cayla. This is Cinnamon, Peaches, and Sage. I'm excited to talk about Pokemon today.
And hope everyone is, including everyone in the audience, because we want to hear from you guys. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of the non-spoilerific things in the DLC, so like gameplay mechanics and the map and a few other goodies that are sprinkled that we were surprised about. I didn't know that some of these things were going to be in the game, but they were pleasant surprises. First, I want to ask if anyone else is uncomfortable with the fact that they keep referring to the Blueberry Academy as BB Academy. Is that just me? Is it because I'm in the LGBT community? Is this like something only we know?
I don't know what that is.
You don't? Okay. I mean, if you know, you know, but it's probably best that you don't know. That's best that you don't know.
It's just blueberry.
Yeah, it's just blueberry. Absolutely, Cayla. If you know, you know.
I want to Google this? I don't know if I want to Google this.
Don't Google it, Cayla.
Okay.
Don't Google
Sounds
good. So the new map is actually really expansive, and this is something I noticed with the last map too for the first DLC. Is it me, or is it like the same size as Paldea itself?
I don't know. I don't think it's as big as Paldea. Paldea's pretty big.
It is pretty big, but like I had the same thing in Kitakami where like I kept getting lost in a good way. Like I kept thinking like, I feel like I should be at the edge of the map by now, but there's more. You know?
I think it's definitely smaller than Paldea, but I think what it does better is it sets up the area so that you have to go through more varied terrain. So, for example, like there'll be a cliff that blocks you off and you'll only have a very small area that you can go to. And then it's like, okay, well, I can either go over the cliff or I can go through a cave. And you're presented with a choice in terms of how you move. I think Paldea, the choice was just, this is flat and there's some like hills, or like this is mostly flat, but then you have a mountain over here. Do you want to go towards the mountain? And that's just not as interesting of a choice as like, I physically need to figure out how I want to get around. Like, it's like, okay, I get to make that choice. Like, I'll start heading that way, but I can change my mind. It's like, no, you're either going over or through. And that's it.
Right. I mean, I personally really like Paldea's map. It's still my favorite one out of the three, but this new one is probably my second favorite. I haven't even explored the whole thing. It's so big, but
yeah, I think really because it makes you do those different things, so it feels bigger. Because like the first time you go through the map, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go through the caves. Then you miss all the above ground stuff, and so it's like you get twice as much map almost.
Also, the cave. Does that span the entire map? Because I found the Chargestone Cave.
There are multiple caves, and they're all really cool.
Oh, really? So there's more than just the Chargestone one? Because every time I go into the Chargestone one, I look back on the map. I'm like, dang, I'm kind of like getting lost down here. It's a labyrinth. And then I look and I'm in a completely different biome, but underneath it. So I didn't know if maybe that spans the entire underground of the disc. Does it?
It doesn't span the whole underground. So there's a few separate cave systems.
Okay.
One of them I think you're going to really like, and it sounds like you haven't found it yet. So
no, I haven't.
Definitely look for it. I'll say Ingo.
That's the vibe.
That's the vibe. If you remember from
I think I found the one you're talking about, the Torchlit Cave.
Okay, the Torchlit.
I haven't gone through it though. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, that really is a Torchlit Cave. And then I walked back out.
Yeah, so it reminds me a lot of the cave from PLA where we walked with Ingo. And so especially with the other one being a reference to a certain area as well. I don't know. A lot of people are speculating that a lot of the areas on the map are references to specific areas in other games.
Yes. So. Okay. I thought maybe it was specific to Gen 5. I mean, Ingo was from Gen 5, and even though he was in Legends.
True. Yeah, but Hisui is not, and that area is in Hisui. So.
Yeah, that's fair. But it is tied to him. It is tied to him, though. So
True,
I don't know.
I don't think anybody would necessarily know that he was from Unova, depending on the timeline. Timey-wimey stuff. Yeah.
Fair. So there's a third one you said, or is there more than 3?
There's Chargestone, there's the Torchlit one. There's tiny little caves too, and some of those have rare spawns in them. I found Surfing Rhydon, which was really fun. There's a reference to a park in Unova. There's all sorts of stuff in the wild area to just explore and find. And it's especially fun too because you can increase the diversity in the biomes, and then certain other Pokemon will start spawning.
Is that like a thing that you unlock as you progress through the DLC?
Yes, yeah, you're almost there.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. For context for people watching, I have completed the whole DLC. Johnny has not completed it yet, which is why we're like avoiding spoilers. You probably talked about that in the intro.
Maybe not.
Well, now they know.
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about spoilers next week. You and I, we're going to be talking about story stuff specifically, because of course all the spoilers are going to be mostly tied to that. But the Chargestone Cave and the Torchlit Cave, like you're talking about, like those were fun surprises that there was no promotional material that showed them. For me, I was just really happy, pleasantly surprised, and I'm glad I didn't get spoiled on that beforehand.
I was excited too, even though I had it might be in there. The fact that it actually was, I was like, whoa, like they went there.
And they even added the electricity effect, like if you get next to the stones, and I thought that was cool. And it really felt like a 3D version of that exact cave that we went through, because that was also really labyrinthian in Gen 5, the Chargestone Cave. And it's very labyrinthian in this, even more so.
Yeah. Oh, there's another Pokemon Legend Arceus area too.
Oh, there
You'll
is?
have to find it.
Okay,
Yes,
sweet.
there is.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
You'll see a certain Pokemon that doesn't exist anymore in the modern day, except does it.
Back to above ground then. I really like the 4 biomes so far. I haven't gotten over to the canyon yet, but I saw it on the map and it looks like there's like some ravines going around, which is really nice. And I've just been so drawn to the coastal and the polar areas. The polar area was something that was really only in Sword and Shield before, and it was both in the base game and the DLC for Sword and Shield. And I just thought that was such a cool idea to have like an ice beach type of area. And I liked it even more in the DLC for Sword and Shield when they had like Ice Cube. And what I really liked about it was like, they took a Pokemon's design and matched it to the environment itself, and that was what was cool. So you had the ice from the like snow caps that you could stand on, and then you had the ice from like an ice cube or what's it called, avalanche? Avalugg.
Yeah.
That were trying to like blend in with the ice caps you can stand on. So if you thought you could go stand on some like ice cap and then you run into
like,
a Pokemon.
Oh, it's Pokemon.
Exactly. So I was hoping to see more of that. They really haven't done that with any of the DLC from what I've seen.
There are nests and there are Pokemon in the bird nest in Blueberry Academy. So like that's really cool. Mm-hmm. And like there's like the evolved forms protecting the nest. That feels very cool.
I like that. No, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's actually a thing in the game. So
I haven't seen that. I haven't run by that yet.
Yeah, it's Savannah.
I remember Sword and Shield was the first time they had Pokemon in trees, and all of Scarlet and Violet has had that. Even the base game, you know, you see Pokemon going up in the trees and flying down and back up to the trees, which was really cool. Before it was only like Emolga, I think, and Gen 8 that could do that.
Yeah, and Applin is in the trees a lot, especially in Kitakami.
Speaking of Applin, is there a new evolution for him? Because I know that he had a new form. And I'm kind of confused.
Maybe. So before the DLC, the Teal Mask, not Teal Mask, Indigo Disc DLC came out, in the Teal Mask, we got Diplin.
Exactly.
Diplin is affected by Eviolite and always has been.
Right, I noticed that, and I was like, so where's the evolution? I had no idea.
Well, maybe it's a thing now.
Okay, it is. That's your way of saying it is. That's totally your way of saying it is. I guess that is a good time for us to segue then into talking about the Pokemon, because I am so happy they brought back Pokemon that were not in a Switch game at all. And now they're finally in a Switch game, as they deserve to be. Like, I know for sure the Blitzel line, the Snivy line, Minior. I love Minior.
Oh, shinies for that are just so scary.
I have a question for you. How can I find a Minior that's not yellow? I've only found yellow Minior.
I don't know what biome you've been fighting them in, but you know, if it's only in one biome that you've been fighting them, then they're gonna mostly be that one color.
Oh, no, I've been fighting them in different biomes, for sure.
Oh, then you're just getting unlucky.
I'm unlucky? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, so finding ones that are shiny is really intense though, because you can't really see that they're shiny.
Nope.
When you're walking around.
Nope. I can't even see what color they are at all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's on the inside. Not only that, but I think some of them know the move like explode.
Explosion.
Or like
Yes.
Explosion.
Explosion.
Yeah, so,
they keep killing themselves when I'm trying to catch them. And I'm like, mighty or no. And then they go.
Yeah. And that's really scary for shinies. So good luck, shiny hunters.
The fastball. The fastball will be our savior there as much as possible.
Yeah,
but it's not guaranteed.
Just throw it right away.
Yeah, quick ball.
But the thing though is, well, I guess if you would find out if it's shiny because there would be sparkles. So you could be like,
but what if you
okay,
miss that? I mean, you might miss that.
It's the scariest shiny hunt ever.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Oh, I was also happy that Smeargle is in the game.
Smeargle is very interesting because like Smeargle always has an impact on competitive because it can learn lots of different moves. So we'll see how that changes things up, if it's even used at all. But I feel like it usually finds a use. So
I feel like it has to. Like, it's such a unique attribute that can really throw an opponent off if you use it properly.
I think Smeargle's even been banned, or at least certain moves on Smeargle has been banned in the past because it just gets really weird.
Yeah, I believe it. I do have a question for the audience, if you guys can answer this, but from what I can tell, every Pokemon is now represented in a Switch game. Is there anyone still missing? If there is any Pokemon still missing, can you comment them down in the comments so that we can look at that and see? It feels bad for whoever that Pokemon is, because I feel like there was already only a handful before. So if someone still got left out, that'd be really sad.
Do we have Maractus? That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Do we have Maractus?
Yes. Is that the dancing one from, isn't that from Gen 8?
It's like the little cactus. It's like a cactus.
It was in Gen 8, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't
remember. Yeah, because if you go to that one town Stone side, I think like even some of the NPCs have them out there.
You're right, they do. Okay, I was like, oh. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we have Maractus. I'm not sure who else we have. But in the meantime, while people are commenting that, Cayla, I know that you are into competitive, and
yes.
I am not, so I literally have nothing to provide in this regard. So can you please like fill us in on some like impactful changes this DLC has brought to the meta?
Yeah, I mean, the most obvious is that there's a ton more legendaries that are way more available than they were in the past. Urshifu has already been a menace in the meta, and so now with people being able to get another Cupfu or their first Cupfu if they didn't play Sword and Shield, here we go. Urshifu meta. But yeah, Urshifu has been everywhere. And then also, like, there's so many legendaries that are added. So once those are actually added in a way that people can use them on their teams, because not all of them are right now. Okay. It's about to get weird. And not to mention Incineroar. Incineroar has been a part of the competitive meta for a while now. And I know, like, watching competitive play already from different people, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing a lot of Incineroars. So expecting that. And yeah, it's a little crazy. There's also some changes to certain Pokemon that, like, returning Pokemon, Electabuzz and Magmar have some shenaniganry going on that actually make them potentially viable with Eviolite. So, like, they have different moves that were added. There's a few new moves in the DLC, and those may change up competitive play. So I'm really excited to play around with that.
I do have a question. I might sound stupid for this, but Greninja was not in a previous Switch game, right? Is he in it now?
Greninja you could get in SV.
Oh.
There was a raid for Greninja, and it could be traded in as well.
Is he a menace to competitive like people thought? Because I heard that people thought he was going to be. Okay.
No, Greninja was a menace a long time ago.
Okay.
But now Cinderace and Meowscarada do that a little bit better.
Oh.
Well, because they all have the same ability. So it kind of depends on what you like in that, and they're not such a their abilities got nerfed too, so
okay.
that it only, especially because of the Trastal being the gimmick, it would kind of be cheap if they Trastalize and then change type and all sorts of weird things. So it only works once after, and then you can switch them, and then it works again. So that was a big nerf for them. Cinderace and Meowscarada still hold their own a little bit, but Greninja really, that hit Greninja pretty hard.
Damn. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
But I still love running Cinderace personally. And I know a lot of people run Meowscarada sometimes too. So
You mean you love running
really
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon, yeah, no, it's literally Cinnamon. I literally trained up Cinnamon to be competitive now. So
I love that.
She was on my team for Indigo Disc.
I love that.
I had all of them on my team, like the actual original ones, like from their original games. So that was fun.
Okay. Is that everything competitive that we needed to be caught up on that you can think of?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of weird things to happen in competitive and exciting things. So if you haven't gotten into competitive, I feel like with the double battles in the DLC, it's kind of the perfect time to do that. Johnny's like, no, I like my little baby Pokemon. I'm never evolving them, ever.
I literally have an Esper on my team at like level 80 right now. So
I'm not at all surprised by this.
I'm not getting into competitive.
But that's one of the great things about Pokemon is you have lots of different options for how to play.
Yep, exactly.
You know, like I could totally imagine you, because of how much you enjoy like the Pokemon and not evolving them and their different sprites and animations, all that. Have you tried the sync feature? Because I feel like
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like that would be like right up your alley.
So I did it with Delibird, your favorite Pokemon.
Also not surprised.
And I got to fly around, so like I had already like been having Delibird follow me around as like my follow Pokemon for most of the last few months, and it was so cute. I went into a cave and was like, uh-oh, what kind of treacherous Pokemon lie ahead? And I threw my Delibird out and was like, Delibird, go search for me. Like, I controlled Delibird to go look in the cave, just flapping the one wing.
Cute.
He's just flapping the one wing and is like, oh,
yeah,
all
because when
clear.
Delibird flies, I remember when we played together, when Delibird flies, he just flaps one wing and the other one's holding the bag.
Holding his tail. Yes, because his tail's the bag, so he's holding his tail bag thing and then flapping the wing. It's so cute.
Yeah.
And you can fly, so like if I go onto a ledge and like drop off, I'll slowly glide down, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes even when I just let them out, like out in the open, they'll be floating pretty high up, and that's pretty cool too. I haven't tried it yet, but I know you can swim with swimming Pokemon, which is really cool.
And some Pokemon swim that I didn't expect. A lot of fun.
Like the Evolutions, each one of the Evolutions have a swimming animation.
Even Flareon?
Okay, maybe not Flareon. No, not Flareon. Flareon's the only one.
I was gonna say Flareon.
But even
like,
Jolteon.
Flareon.
I think even Jolteon does.
I had my Sylveon Tiny. Tiny was swimming right there, and I was like, oh, this is so cute.
Yeah, like I accidentally found this out in like base Paldea before the DLCs hit.
Raichu swims too.
What? Raichu?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Surfing Raichu. My Raichu knows surf, so
also
Raichu can.
He looks like he'd float. Can Pikachu swim?
I mean, I don't know. I just know my Raichu is. So Peaches swims.
And Pikachu can surf too. Wait, was it a Alolan Raichu or regular Raichu that you had swimming?
Regular.
Wow. Okay.
Regular.
Because I thought the surfing Raichu was always Alolan, and other than that, it was Pikachu that surfed.
Well, I mean, my Raichu knows surf, so.
Interesting.
Technically, it could surf.
I wonder how that works, like logically in the Pokemon world, how Pikachu and Raichu can learn surf. Where do they get how do they generate the water to do that?
I mean, how do any of the Pokemon generate a whole
if they have
tidal wave of water?
If they have innate water powers, I can see that. You know, like in the anime, they shoot it out of their mouths, right? But that's because they have innate water powers.
Does that mean that it's a tidal wave of spit?
Yeah, kind of. It's very powerful spit.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's like, wait a minute. Maybe we don't think so hard about that.
I can't help it. That's how my brain works. Okay.
No.
So I do want to briefly touch on how what I think is one of the best things about this DLC, and that is like the bringing back of Gen 5 music. And not only was Gen 5 always one of the strongest, in my opinion, musical for Pokemon games, but it also makes me realize how much I've been missing good music from Scarlet and Violet. Because, like, in my opinion,
really?
yes, in my opinion, Scarlet and Violet does this thing where it withheld all the good music from you until you get towards the end of the game. And that's when it starts giving you the good music. There was some good, like, city music.
What about Team Star, though? Team Star's music is...
It was okay.
You don't like Team Star?
It was okay.
Oh, I love Team Star.
I'm talking about also,
it's
like...
rock and roll.
I'm talking about besides battle music, like overworld music, I guess is what I'm saying mostly.
Oh, okay.
So, like, think of, like, Area Zero versus the root music in Scarlet and Violet. Like, the root music in Scarlet and Violet's kind of bland, in my opinion. And then, like, Area Zero is, like, epic. And just,
Area
like...
Zero is very epic. I kind of liked the root music, but maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know.
I like melodies, and it's just, like, to me, it's, like, not melodic. It's a lot of jingles. It's just, like, small jingles kind of grouped separately and, like, spaced out with the piano. I wasn't digging it personally, and then it didn't really get much better when you got into battle because it's just like a version of that with some drums, you know? And then a lot of the town music I wasn't digging. I liked some of them, like Lavencia, I think I liked.
Yeah, Lavencia is my favorite town.
And what's funny is I actually do like what's the snow one?
Montenevra?
Montenevra. I do like the music there, which is funny because it's actually a remix of the root music, but they make it sound more melodic. They add like melodies to connect the different notes and give it also like a Christmas cheer kind of sound, which I really like. And there's a few others, but like very rare. But this DLC, everywhere in this new area in the Indigo Disc, has banger music. And it's because it's all the melodies from Gen 5 remixed and renewed for this. And it just fits so well in this open world style that it really makes me wish we had this much focus on the music in Base Paldea and even in Kitakami. Kitakami had okay music.
I thought Kitakami was great with music.
I really liked when you got...
it was very thematic.
It was thematic.
The area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was perfect. Like the Loyal 3, like the music matched them. Kieran and Carmine's theme matched them.
Yep.
That was
no,
really
I liked
cool.
I liked the music in Kitakami, especially when you got into battle. It was definitely a step up from most of Base Paldea, except for like obviously Area Zero I'd put above that. But
and Lavencia. I like Lavencia.
I do like Lavencia.
I will literally just hang out in Lavencia and just be like rocking out to the music and like going to the different shops. Like
it's
that's where I
vibey.
go. I'm like, if I lived in Paldea, Lavencia, 100%.
Oh,
me
yeah.
and Iono are hanging out. We're having a good time. Like, easy.
And the coolest thing about that city in particular is like if you walk around in between the buildings there with your Pokemon out and you see all the NPCs walking around with their Pokemon out, it's exactly what we like pictured when we pictured like a full-fledged Pokemon game, you know? But we finally have that, you know, everyone walking around with their Pokemon nonchalantly because that's the world they live in. They live in the world of Pokemon, like in the middle of a big city. Even these Pokemon can be out here, you know? I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
But that's kind of off topic. But
and I like the way it's set up too, like with the gym stadium in the middle, and then people can walk around it. It feels very like a park. That like reminds me of the High Line a little bit in New York City.
Yeah.
The way we can kind of like walk around on this like elevated platform, and then there's like a hidden little garden with somebody who actually does something, like not just a random NPC, like somebody who you can actually like use usefully within the game.
Yep.
So it's like, okay. And there's shops. I'm like, okay, Lavencia, we see you.
Yeah, it's a cool city. But yes, the music for the Indigo Disc, I really am digging it. And I hope everyone else is too, because it's good music.
It's really good.
Oh, okay. I thought you disagreed.
No, I don't disagree. I like the music there. I disagree that the other music was bad. I like that music too.
I'm glad you like it all. I mean, honestly, power to you if you like it all.
Some of the themes I don't think are as memorable as some previous Pokemon themes.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I like it.
I thought that another pleasant surprise was the new, I guess like you could call it a reward system. They call it the BP system. To me, it screams Pokemon Legends with like the tasks that you kind of like check off. But it's satisfying. And that's like always a thing with RPGs, like especially when they happen in real time like that, like you immediately get the reward as you do it. And you can just do it as you do other things. You get those rewards. That is so satisfying, and I love that because it kind of, you can already get stuck in an endless loop when playing games like this, but it gets you even more stuck in an endless loop. So that's just good in general for everyone.
What I like about it is I feel like they took the loop that they had from Pokemon Legends Arceus, and they were like, okay, how can we make this multiplayer? I've been doing a lot of BBQs multiplayer. I know people on my Discord have actually coordinated with each other to play BBQs multiplayer, and you can earn so much more if you're working together. And the fact that these BBQs are encouraging cooperation is amazing, and it's kind of the point of Pokemon.
Yes. 100%.
I know some people are upset that you have to for certain things because there's certain limitations on using. I don't want to spoil it for you because I know you're not there yet. But there's certain limitations on the BP coming from single player versus multiplayer. There are certain things locked where you need to have multiplayer BP.
Oh, really?
In order to unlock them. Yes.
That's fine because I planned on doing it anyway.
It's post-game. Yeah, it's post-game. So, like, I can understand why some people are like, oh, they locked things. And I agree. There shouldn't be things locked. It should just be that it's easier to get BP when you play multiplayer. It shouldn't lock things out. But yeah, it is really fun to do in multiplayer.
Yeah, I really like that. I saw that notification. They told me like you can do it in multiplayer and you guys can help each other fill it. And I figured that it would happen faster. Yeah. So that's good to know. I already kind of planned on doing that.
Even with 2 people, so much faster.
That's
you
crazy.
Get so many more points. Like
awesome.
4 people, crazy. People are just like, they're getting a ton.
And the kind of things you can do with the BP, I saw you could like redecorate the club. Was that one of them?
Yes, you can redecorate the club. You can. Do you want me to tell you all the different things?
Yeah.
Or
go ahead.
some of them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can redecorate the club. You can change your throwing style. You can increase the biodiversity of the terrarium.
Oh, that's how you do that. Okay.
Yes, and if you're thinking about which Pokemon specifically spawn, and you're thinking of certain Pokemon that might be visible currently, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Wait, what are you hinting at here?
Huh? Oh, I mean, viewers might get it. Viewers, tell Johnny what Pokemon are visible right now.
Is it the legendary one that I'm thinking of?
Your face is so funny. No. Which Pokemon are currently on the screen?
Oh, in one of our cameras?
Both of our cameras, actually. Maybe.
Wait, both of our cameras? Well, no. Larvitar's in base. Togepi's not in the game. Cinderace?
Maybe.
Cinderace is back there somewhere. The one that you got me.
Are you getting what kind of Pokemon then?
Penguin?
Everybody tell Johnny in the comments what kind of Pokemon, because I know you all know. Everybody in the comments is probably screaming right now, like, Johnny, it's these Pokemon. I'm going to leave it a mystery. You're going to have to check your comments.
Okay.
You're going to be excited. It's going to be really fun, though, because you're going to know, like, oh, all these people got to this point in the video now.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to have, like, 50 comments that are like, Johnny, she's talking about.
Okay, I'm excited for that because so far I don't know.
Yeah, you can increase the biodiversity. You can, what else can you do? I said you can change the club room. Oh, eventually you can invite coaches, which we saw in the trailers.
Like the gym leaders?
Invite people to your club room. Yeah, like gym leaders, people like that.
Cool, okay.
Trying to think of
we're going to be hanging out with Larry.
Yeah, there's just a lot of different things. Yeah, a lot of people are hanging out with Larry.
We're
there's some
bring
interesting
him out of
dialogue. There's some very interesting dialogue, actually.
Okay,
depending on
good.
who you invite. You can invite more than one person, up to 2. So there's some dialogue there between people. A
Ooh,
lot of
okay.
interesting things. Yeah, it's a good time.
Wow, that's a lot. I love that. I can't wait to see the different throw animations too. I want to
Yeah.
see that.
It's actually very useful. So people are farming BP like crazy because we have things to do with it. So.
Is it like, are we getting like a lot of BP and then like able to do a lot of things with it pretty quickly?
I think so, especially if you're playing multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing single player, it can be kind of slow.
Okay.
But if you're playing with other people, you'll get a lot of BP. So, if you're, I would recommend joining community discords if you're having trouble finding people to
Like
play
yours?
with. Yeah, honestly, like we have a group of people that's been playing almost every night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really nice. Like everybody's having a good time. So
Yes. Okay, I want to join that soon. Like next 2 days
Yeah.
or so, I want to join in on one of those. That sounds fun.
It's fun. And I've heard people coordinating too to be like, oh, like let's all play at this time today. And people all over the world too. It's like, oh yeah, I can play at this time, but it's 11 p.m. for me. Oh, really? It's 8 a.m. for me. Everybody just coordinating. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that we can communicate with people around the world now.
Mm-hmm.
And play Pokemon
feel like-
together. That's the best way to
that's-
communicate.
That's kind of been the point of Pokemon, is to bring people together in a peaceful, happy way from
Yep.
everywhere.
And it's the theme of the game
pretty
stories
beautiful.
more often than not too, which is nice. So it's just very,
Yeah.
very cohesive in that regard.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the technology finally caught up to where they wanted it to be
I
in a lot of
agree.
ways. In some ways, not utilized the way that we would hope it to be. But for the most part, like the technology is caught up now so that we can actually experience the intention of Pokemon.
For sure. I agree 100%. I think you're right about that. Speaking of cohesive, who's a what's it? Let's talk about some characters. I just saw Kian for the first time. Kieran? Yeah. Kieran.
Oh yeah, because you said you just beat Carmine, right?
I just beat Carmine, and
yeah,
he
so
came
you
in.
saw Kieran.
That man is off his rocker. What is he doing? I mean,
Having a
listen.
time.
Listen.
You know,
I
teen
was-
angst, it hits hard.
No, because you and we had this conversation in our last podcast, and you were like,
Yeah.
I get it, I understand. And by the end of it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I get it too. But no, Mans is going full on psycho from what I've seen so far. The way he's standing and like tapping his
he's a
feet
little-
and stuff, and the face he's making, like the whole time he's just like that.
Okay,
Was that or
that's
was
the
that not a
thumbnail
good
right there.
imitation? Was that or was that not a good imitation?
Yeah.
He's too off his
definitely-
rocker. And Carmine's just like sitting there like, yeah, he's changed a bit. And I'm like, Carmine, girl, take
I
that
feel
man
like
to therapy.
She's very worried about him. I
Yeah,
mean, she's kind of his only parental figure, even though she's his sister. Where are their parents?
I don't know, but their family's in Kitakami.
Their grandparents are in Kitakami. Where are their parents?
Do you know the answer to this?
I have a theory.
Ooh.
You can go in Carmine's dorm.
Okay. Carmine's
And-
dorm.
All I'm gonna say, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but look at the things in Carmine's dorm. There are certain objects that highly hint about certain things with her parents.
Okay.
So,
But either way, I just don't think she's, at least from what I've seen so far, she doesn't seem worried enough. She's like, yeah, he's a little different than he was. He's been having a weird time since we got back from
I feel
Kitakami,
like she's
and I was
worried.
like, not from the scenes I've
feel
seen.
like-
I've only seen the one scene though, so maybe
Yeah,
she'll
I mean,
show
she
more
was
worry
talking
later.
to her friend about how worried she was when you. She was talking to Amaris about how worried she was when you first meet her.
I didn't know
so-
though, because they didn't show me the
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yeah, they were both just kind of like,
Wow.
what do we do?
All I
about
saw, I walked
Kieran?"
up to them, they were like, and then one said, I gotta go. And I was like, okay, bye.
like,
And then I talked to Carmine. And then she was
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's a little different now.
Yeah.
So that was what was happening so far. And I'm curious to see. I like his new hairstyle though. I like how he's letting the purple show. Or the pink. It looks kind of
Yeah.
pink to me still, but the purplish
He's an
pink.
interesting character. I think that people are going to be very split on their opinions of him in a lot of different ways.
Ooh.
I personally think he's really interesting as a character. I think that I can't spoil it for you.
I'm gonna hate him, aren't I?
You're gonna have to play. No, you're just gonna have to play.
Of course,
Like,
of course.
You have to let me know.
Oh yeah. I have to finish this within the week.
Future video. Yeah.
I have to finish this within the week so we can talk about this next week.
Right. Yeah. He's really. I think he's an interesting character. I think there's gonna be lots of different opinions on him as a person. Like just a wide array.
But you know who's universally loved, at least between the two of us?
Not right.
Wait, what?
Lacey.
Yes,
well, that's
okay.
what she does.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what she does. She goes, not right.
I love her.
I love her too. I'm going to do my hair like her. I'm determined.
Yes.
I'm going to just become her slowly.
I want to see it.
Potentially quickly, hopefully.
I want to see it because she legitimately looks like you.
When I saw her, I just thought of my like pink hair phase when I had like the little, and I was like, oh, that's me. And even her personality reminds me a lot of me as a kid with being like, oh, we're going to follow rules.
Yes. But you also know, like, what I love about her is she kept talking for the guy who heads the academy. And she's like,
Serrano.
she's being so polite about it, but at the same time is being passive aggressive about it. But she's like, oh, I'm not surprised you didn't know that. But here's the real answer. She's so like she doesn't get hung up on the fact that this guy who clearly doesn't know what he's doing is running the place and she knows all the answers, but she's also acknowledging it and saying it out loud while also giving the actual answers and helping you along like you're supposed to be helped along and things like that. She's just such a well-written character in that regard already.
Yeah, I really like her as a character too, and I think what I like about her is that she pays attention to other people and reacts to them. And she doesn't say things directly. She like thinks about what other people are saying and then is like, okay, how can I say this so that it doesn't offend people, but also so that everybody else is like doing okay? You see it like with Serrano, right? Like she's like, I don't want to like offend him, but like there's certain things that need to be done. So how do I do this? And like, you'll see this throughout the DLC where there'll be situations where she's like, this is not right. How do I handle this? And she always does that not right, like with her finger, with her hands like this. So
there was
great.
like a special dialogue, you know, where you get like the option to say yes or no to things.
Yeah.
And I followed her to the spot on the map that I was supposed to go to, and I talked to her, and she comes up to me. She's like, "Whisper, whisper. They're talking about this, this, and that." And then my options were like, "Oh, okay," or "Whisper, whisper."
Yes.
I picked whisper, whisper, and then she looks around, she looks at me, she goes, "Whisper, whisper. I didn't quite get that. Can you repeat it?" and then we got interrupted by the guy teaching the class. So that was like the entire
That's
conversation was basically nothing got accomplished by she and I talking to each other, but it was still like a really funny interaction. And I love that they are doing that, and they know that people are gonna like her if they're giving us options to talk with her like that specifically.
Yeah. I like, too, that they immediately confirmed that she's related to a Unobin gym leader, because that was a theory that everyone had going into it. They immediately are like, this is Lacey, her dad's a gym leader. It's like, okay, cool. She's related to Clay. Like, immediately.
I'm gonna have to look up who Clay is.
He's the same one that, he was related to a character in Pokemon Legends Arceus, too. The guy with the cowboy hat. Remember the little kid with the cowboy hat in Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pearl Clan?
I remember him. I don't remember.
Yeah, so his descendant is Clay, and then Lacey is Clay's daughter.
Wait, no. Oh, his descendant. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool,
So
cool.
Clay, gym leader in Unova, and then Lacey is Clay's daughter.
Okay.
And a lot of the, like, it's really cool seeing that and hearing her. She actually talks about her dad at certain points, and, like, it's very, like, clearly confirmed. But a lot of people were saying that they thought that Alessa was her mom, and I'm like, no. And Alessa is way too young, like, concerning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
no,
that'd be concerning.
no, not related to Alessa.
I met the guy with the white hair.
Drayton?
Yes, Drayton.
Yeah. What do you think of Drayton so far?
I don't have much of an opinion so far, except I like his design a lot. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, his design he's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, he has a cool design.
Yeah.
Right now
really
he's just.
Tell you much.
Oh, is he spoilery? Is that why?
Spoiling.
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like everything is like, this could potentially be a spoiler.
Yeah, so far I've only seen him butt heads with Carmine, so
yeah.
I'm not sure where that's going. Well, they're gonna fall in love by the end of this. That's my guess.
Maybe. The funny thing is, a lot of the characters are shipped together canonically.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like we actually see characters pretty clearly have crushes on each other.
Oh.
And I think at this point, like if you've met Drayton, like they actually talk about like pairing up and dates and things like that, which is very not usual Pokemon. So that's really fun to see.
That's gonna make me really uncomfortable. Only because I know that there's not going to be anything other than straight pairings in the entire thing.
No, that's actually not true.
Really? Okay.
Not really. No. Nope. You're gonna go on a date. You're gonna go on a date, and it's not gonna be with a woman. Regardless of what gender you are, you're going on a date.
Oh man, my character's a woman.
Huh? Oh.
I made Cereza from Bayonetta.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and then Carmine says certain things. I can't spoil this for you. You gotta check it out.
Okay.
But there's gonna be some things.
I hope so. I hope
Trying to say
so.
this in the least spoilery way possible.
We need some representation now.
Yeah. No, it's actually they did the same kind of subtle representation that they do throughout the rest of the game. So.
Okay.
You can kind of pick what features your character has. You don't have to look entirely masculine or feminine. It's the same kind of thing. They've got gender-neutral bathrooms in these games.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they had them in Kitakami. Remember?
No, I don't remember that. Mm-mm.
Oh, you should go to Kitakami. There's a gender-neutral bathroom in
Okay,
Kitakami.
awesome.
Yeah, so no, they're very much just trying to be like, whatever. You could take this the way you wanted to take it, or you cannot. It's totally up to you. But here's a gender neutral bathroom, and guys can have eyelashes. So
these are the important things in life, guys.
Yeah, I just want everyone to be able to wear dresses like in Animal Crossing and skirts. 'Cause there's no reason not to. I guess riding Maridon and Koraidon would be a little difficult in a dress.
Yeah, fair.
That's
maybe that's why they haven't. Yeah, maybe that's why they've heavily limited what we can dress them up in.
I'm like, just figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Come on.
Like,
maybe on the Switch too. Maybe they'll have it figured out there. Either way.
If the Switch too.
Oh, that's a whole nother comment. We're going to be talking about that in like 2 weeks from now.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
You and I are going to talk about that though. We're going to talk about that. So everyone watching this, next week, I want you guys to join us for our spoiler cast of the DLC so that we can talk about actual story elements and, get into like all the nitty gritty for that. It'll probably be a longer video than this. And then after that, we want to talk about the next epilogue DLC. We got quite a few videos coming, and then Cayla and I are going to talk about the future of Pokemon after Scarlet and Violet. Keep an eye out, and I hope that everyone here enjoyed having you on, Cayla, because I sure as hell did, and I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Fun as always.
You guys can find Cayla at Cayla's Capsule with a C, Cayla with a C, and Capsule with a C. Yes. Here on YouTube, and you can join her Discord server, which has the way that you can join the multiplayer. You can also join my Discord server, which is in the description of this video as well. Follow us, all of that cool jazz, because we're all just cool people and we can all be cool people together. The cool nerds. We're all nerds. Being a nerd makes you cool.
Nerds are cool. Very cool. Can confirm.
You say as I'm ranting, like, yeah, nerds are cool.
I am nerd.
Same. That's why we get along. We get to bond over nerdy stuff. We will catch you guys all next week. Feel free to come back.
Have a great day or night. Bye.
Oh, and happy holidays.
Oh yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.